Shalom. Giving all praise to Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. Double honors to the apostles of Great Millstone. Shalom to you, hopefully elect. And just through the Spirit, I wanted to do this because, like the scriptures tell us, ye yourselves know perfectly, right? Concerning the times that we're in. We know that any day now, all hell can break loose, right? Um, we got to be ready, man. Let me get this real quick because this is the time that we're coming into where life as we know it is about to change. Um, get ready, having a mindset of just being prepared to leave it all behind, right? That's why, we can't be too caught up in the things pertaining to this world because it's all about to be destroyed anyways. All right. I'm going to get this in Luke 21. Salakia. Looking for a specific verse. Well, the Spirit had me come here anyway, so I'll just read it. Yeah, I'll just read this real quick since the Spirit has me here. In Luke 21, verse starting at 20. And when ye shall see Jerusalem compassed with armies, then know that the desolation thereof is nigh. All right. And more so, this desolation of, because the scriptures talked about the uh, the abomination of desolation that you read about in Daniel. Well, that more so took place during this time. All right, the siege of Jerusalem, 70 A.D. Right, but you can compare it to the times that we're living in now because there's no new thing under the sun. So there's going to be another, so to say, abomination of desolation that's going to be far worse than 70 AD, far worse than anything that the earth has ever experienced before. All right, and we're going to be here to live through it. So again, that's why we got to be ready. Because all this is about to be done away with real soon. Like I've said, like I've been saying, life as we know it is about to change for the worse. All right, but we ought to maintain that lively hope. Because that hope, man, that hope, what we hoping, that's a part of what keeps us going. Hey, that's a part of what keeps the drive in us. But reading on, it says, then let them which are in Judea flee to the mountains, and let them which are in the midst of it depart out, and let not them that are in the countries enter therein too. All right. So basically, man, with that being said, like I was saying, with the rumors and the reports of basically America, Babylon is coming up under siege. You see, Babylon is coming up under siege. All right, and all these reports of military activity within Babylon, right? Troops being deployed, military equipment, tanks, and things of that nature being moved round about. And you got some that believe, because the scriptures tell us in second Esdras, Ecclesiasticus the 5th chapter, man, be not ignorant of anything small or great. So, because you got people that are trying to downplay what's going on right now, and these are just military exercises, right? Pretty much, there's nothing to be worried about, especially when it comes to a lot of these preppers, because when it comes to a lot of these preppers, man, shit actually hitting the fan. Obviously, no one in general wants all hell to break loose, but this is prophecy. It's written. It has to happen. It's going to happen. So a lot of these preppers, man, they're basically just, when these different reports come out, and they try to downplay it. Just speaking as a man, is because they don't really, their worst fears, right? Their worst fears, man. Everyone wants to be, because no one wants all hell to break loose, right? But we do, of course, because we know that's going to usher in immortality. We know that's going to usher in the kingdom. So we want all hell to break loose, and we're egging it on, right? But nevertheless, the reports, the rumors, because like I said, or like I read in Luke, right? Armies being compassed in Jerusalem is a people before it's a place. So, I'll just say, man, don't be surprised if anything, you see a lot of the military movement going on in predominantly Jake areas, which that seemed to be the case, because, just watching some videos and whatnot, of what's going on as far as this military activity and whatnot, that appears to be the case. The moving predominantly in Jake areas, right? But hey, the ball is getting ready to drop. All right. There's really so much to talk about. There's so much to mention, because it's just like, man, it's all starting to more and more make sense. Bridges are collapsing, infrastructure is being destroyed, factories being destroyed. It's just all starting to make sense. It's all coming together. The trench. Esau, he's closing in, and he's getting ready to make his moves. They were talking about the summer. Shit can pop off this summer with only a few weeks out. Come July, right? With that Fed now. Just speaking as a man again, it would make sense for Esau to do something anytime between now and then. It will make sense. Because, like I said, just watching some stuff, getting into some stuff, paying attention to what's going on, and of course, Esau, that's one of Esau's tools, all right, his narrative, all right, that he uses. Because I was watching this guy, Full Spectrum, you did a video. Now, I didn't, actually look into it, so, it's not validated or anything, and, that's the thing, because, we can easily play clips all day, but, we don't know for the most part if this information is coming out as true or not, but we know eventually it's going to happen, all right? Eventually these things are going to happen, but, like I was saying, I was watching this guy, Full Spectrum, and he was did a pretty, very informative video going into how supposedly there's this information Intel has leaked, right? That the so-called Russians, the so-called Chinese have been, gathering intel, which that's what a lot of people thought of initially when, when this whole thing about the balloons, right? The balloons that have been, seen throughout different areas within Babylon, right? Some believe that, that's pretty much what that was, is, the other nations gathering intel, because going back to Full Spectrum, his watching his video, supposedly the so-called Russians and the so-called Chinese, well, for one, again, this is all rumors, reports, nothing's validated, but we know eventually it's going to happen. I'm gonna get this real quick. Brought this out in the previous lesson not too long ago, but Jeremiah 51:12. Set up the standard upon the walls of Babylon. Make the watch strong. Set up the watchmen. Prepare the ambushes. For the Lord hath both devised and done that which he spake against the inhabitants of Babylon. So going into those ambushes, all right, because we know it's just a matter of time before America does, get invaded. And I was going back to some of the reports that, the so-called Russians and so-called Chinese have already infiltrated Babylon, right? And again, going back to how it's all reports, speculation, right? It's just rumors at this point, but they've been planning, basically scoping Babylon out. There's been supposed intel leaks of how these nations, they're going to, well, basically, I'll just, to sum it all up, this is going to be real serious major cyber attacks. All right. Basically, there's been these reports of intel of these nations, collecting data on these infrastructures. They're going to attack certain infrastructures and military bases, Babylonian military bases, and like I just read, man, prepare the ambushes. All right, and again, it's all because it's nothing for Esau to attack his own people, his own, nation, country, or whatever, and to blame it on some terrorist event. 9/11 was an example of that. All right. But like I said, Esau, he needs a narrative. All right. Esau, he likes to use narratives. So as of right now, for the longest, it's been the so-called Russians, the so-called Chinese. They've been this boogeyman. All right. But hey, it is what it is. Let this shit happen already. Because something's getting ready to happen. Something's getting ready to happen, man. It's about to go down. And like I said, we have to be we have to have the mindset of the mindset of, hey, leaving it all behind, because when it's go time, all right, we're not gonna be able to. You see, you're gonna have, and I can see it, like the Apostle Gabal often says, man, you got to be a visionary. You have to see, man. You have to be visionary. You have to use your imagination, because I can see it when it's all said and done. When shit goes down out here, Jake, they're gonna be running back to their little apartment complexes, trying to get the PS5s, the flat screen TVs, right? Because for the most part, Jake is too emotionally invested in this place, and that's why we can't be too attached. Because the time is gonna come when we're just gonna have to completely detach, and we're already spiritually, for the most part, we're detached. We're already detached at this point. Like I said, we can't wait for this shit to go down, man. We can't wait. Shit can't come soon enough. But I'm gonna get this. Going back to Luke chapter 17. Luke 17, verse 31. In that day he shall, again, pursuant to 70 AD, right? Luke 17 and 31. In that day he which shall be upon the housetop, and his stuff in the house, let him not come down to take it out, take it away. And he that is in the field, let him likewise not return back. So you see, man, because that time, well, matter of fact, when you read verse 32, because a lot of people is going to be in this spirit of verse 32. Remember Lot's wife, right? And remember, Lot's wife. Well, Lot, he had a lot of substance. Lot had so much substance that Abraham and Lot, they had to basically split up, and one had to go this way and one had to go that way because they were just too much. They had too much substance. So, and that was back then, because like I said, Jake now, man. That's why I say, man, you gotta be visionary. You can see, I can see it, because it said, hey, whatever's in your house, man, hey, don't go back to, because Jake, that's what they're gonna do. They're gonna turn back to get the PS5. They're gonna turn back to get the 6s, the 12s, whatever Jake wears, shoes, whatever Jordan's popping nowadays. Hey, Jake, that's what's gonna be in their mind, and that's what they're gonna try to go back for. But hey, real soon, shit is just gonna be different. And all that shit's gonna mean nothing. Hell, even the dollar. Like I mentioned with the Fed now, because all roads are leading to that MOTB. Cash is going to soon be obsolete, completely worthless. All right. And the new normal is going to be programmable money. That's going to be the new normal here real soon, man. And while Jake is just Jake is just clueless. Let me see if I can find this real quick. Because here it is, the prophets are blowing the alarm. Yahweh Shema Shai is sounding the alarm through his prophets, right? But what is Jake doing? I'm going to read this in Ezekiel chapter 8. Ezekiel chapter 8, I'm going to start at verse 7. And he brought me to the door of that court. And when I looked, behold, a hole in the wall. Then said he unto me, Son of man, dig now in the wall. And when I had digged in the wall, behold, a door. And he said unto me, Go in and behold the wicked abominations that they do here. Right? Talk about Jake. Just look at Jake. With everything that's going on right here. You could just see. You see it. You see it for yourself. Look at what Jake is caught up in. Look at these boneheaded Negroes, man. These dingbats, man. Verse 10. So I went in and saw, and behold, every form of creeping things and abominable beasts, and all the idols of the house of Israel portrayed upon the wall round about. So, that was the point, right? Just look at what Jake's doing. Look at what Jake's conversation is, man. Look what they're talking about. Look what they're focused on, right? It'd be spiritual, because sometimes I'll be just hearing conversations, right? Here it is, I'll be in my own zone. I'll be meditating on precepts and whatnot. And I'll just be walking around just thinking like, man, all this shit is about to be done away with. I've been thinking about brothers. I'll just be wondering what brothers are doing, hoping brothers are all right. Just just spiritual things. That's just where my mind be at. But sometimes I gotta get out the zone and just pay attention to what these cats are saying, man. And it's just completely it's folly. Talking about their 10-year plan and 401ks, and to this day, niggas are still talking about the GOAT, right? Michael Jordan and Kobe. Who's the greatest, right? You think Kobe's in the spiritual realm thinking about that shit, man? No. Kobe don't care about none of the so-called accolades that he made on his side. He's not worried about that shit, guaranteed. But And hell, even better yet, Kobe, all right, he's looking down on these niggas like, man, these niggas just don't know. Like, these niggas still talking about me. These niggas just don't know. Because none of that shit means nothing. None of this shit means anything. And again, it's all about to be worthless. It's about to be done away with. You know? So just look, you know, behold and see. Right? But nevertheless, again, just the fact that, you know, these rumors, these reports, right? The so-called Russians, so-called Chinese men, they're, you know, supposedly they're, you know, they've infiltrated America, Babylon. Supposedly they got all this intel that leaked, supposedly, right? Of, you know, attacks on certain infrastructures and power grids, and, you know, just, you know, America's in full on assault, man. America's in full on assault. All right. You know, let me get this in Job. Because, hey, this is the trench, man. You know, matter of fact, before I get Job, I'm going to get this. Second Ezra chapter 16. Because, long story short, I'm not going to get too into it, but again, it's all reports, it's all speculation, it's all just rumors, right? Going back to how, you know, there's leaks on the, you know, supposed leaks. You know, they got this intel that, like I said, to basically sum it all up, man, there's going to be this major cyber event. There's going to be this major cyber attack that's basically going to have it to where a light form of martial law is going to have to be declared because of the chaos that could ensue, the chaos that can take place. You know, because people, they're not going to be able to access their banks, money, right? You know, people, basically, man, people, that's why I'm going to get this. I'm going to get this. Because basically, everyone is going to be stuck, right? They're going to be stuck. Not going to be able to do anything. Right? So I'm going to get this in 2 Ezra 16. You know, and again, man, just through the spirit, you know. Don't just don't be too heavily invested into this place. You know, we still got to take care of our responsibilities. We could do, you know, we got to make do with what we got. And I just say that because, you know, shit. I mean, it's easier said than done, you know. Because, you know, you get to a point where it's just like, all right. Because especially when you're like younger in the faith, younger in the truth, you know, you're expecting the Lord to come any day, right? Even to brothers that are seasoned now, you know, you still have that mindset of, hey, we know what can happen any day, but, you know, sometimes we get this expectation like, hey, you know, because, you know, Esau, not speaking as a man, I think the Lord has it to where, and it's happened to me several times, you know, that's why we just have to subject ourselves, man, subject ourselves to the Lord's will, because the Lord will have it to where, speaking as a man, the Lord will have it to where Esau, he'll put certain dates out there, and, you know, you'll be like, oh shit, well, hey, you know, hey, this might be it, you know, and 2 weeks, a month, you know, 2 weeks later, after that date, you know, nothing happens. It's like, man, damn, you know, like, shit. I think the Lord, sometimes he does that just to test us, you know, so eventually you get to a point which is like, all right, you know, it is what it is. All right, the Lord's going to do what he does on his own time, and for the meantime, I'm here, right? But like I said, when you're newer in the faith, You know, it's just you're really in that hateful spirit, like, man, you know, tomorrow? No? Well, how about next week? You know, next week Tuesday. You know, something might, well, you know, you're in that spirit, you know. But with that being said, like I said, as we become more seasoned, we just come to we develop a level of understanding, you know, because we still had our mindset like, hey, it can happen at any second, but just it's going to happen on the Lord's time, not on our own time, you know, because like I said, just you know, hey, I was just today, man, because you know I'm dealing with some car problems, man, and I'm just this shit's really just like, god damn, you know, Lord can't come soon enough, but at the same time, it's just like, man, the Lord, he's about to come soon anyways, man. Just man, he ain't gonna have to deal with this shit, man. You know, man. Don't give up, man. To whom this may concern, to who needs to hear this, don't give up. Just let the Lord deal with it, and you just continue to do your part as best as you can, and the Lord will come through. And I'm probably talking to myself when I say that, but 2 Ezra chapter 16, because like I said, something's going to happen to where, hey, everyone's going to be stuck. No one's going to be able to do anything, you know? And again, there's more rumors, reports, right? With all this military movement that's being moved throughout Babylon, right? Well, there's, you know, speculation that because of this war that's going on, you know, basically, because like I said before, they're trying to downplay this, like these, you know, these military movements throughout Babylon is just military exercises, and you know, of course they're going to try to downplay it to, you know, because these people, man, they're distracted. You know, they're distracted. You know, the bread and circuses, and you know, whatever these people are focused on, man. I don't know, and I can care less. But um, like I said, something's gonna happen, and they know it. They're preparing for it. I saw another video, and I might post it. Yeah, I might post it. The video, you know, with these utility workers, right? Well, I'll just post it, Lord willing. Might post it before I upload this video, so because they're preparing for something. They know something's coming. All right, internet outages, just total blackouts and things of that nature. And again, they're going to try to blame it on the so-called Russians, so-called Chinese, because you know that's just Esau with his narratives. But something's going to happen. Something major is going to happen to where everyone's going to be stuck. Everyone's going to be idle, and that's why I want to get this in 2 Ezra chapter 16. 2 Ezra chapter 16 and verse 68. For behold, the burning wrath of a great multitude is kindled over you. And you see that burning wrath because they, pursuant to Isaiah the 10th chapter, when you read about how the Assyrians, an example of the Lord's indignation, when you go to the Assyrians and they put hell on Jake, you know, torture tactics, and you know, they put hell on Jake. Well, when you read in Isaiah the 10th chapter, it talks about how the anger that Jake seen on those Assyrians, that was the anger of the Lord, right? And Esau, he's the modern day Assyrian. Esau, he's a modern day, America is a modern day Assyria. All right, and you see when these different troops start coming over here, which a lot of them are already over here, you know, you've been hearing us talking about the sleeper cells. A lot of these cats are just waiting to get the green light, you know. And it's pretty obvious that, you know, with this whole so-called immigration thing that's been going on, Title 42 ending, and, you know, these so-called illegal immigrants coming over here, you know. Well, make no mistake about it, it's not just the northern tribes, but, you know, some you know, there's some Ishmaelites coming up through there, Moabites. They've been following these so-called Chinese nationalists, and, you know, hell, you've been having these Chinese, what do they call it? I forgot what they're calling them, but these stations in America that have been getting raided, so-called, and basically the cover story for these Chinese stations. Um, Again, I forgot what they call them, but their excuse is to gather up these Chinese, the so-called Chinese that have escaped China, and they've come over here, and that's the cover story. These stations that they get over here is to gather up these Chinese that have left. They tried to flee, and they came over here, right? But nevertheless, sleeper cells, man. A lot of these foreign troops are already here, or some of them, and it's just a matter of time before they get the green light. But nevertheless, the point being that the fierceness, because hey, these cats they're going to be killing for sport. They're going to be killing just for fun. They're going to be doing a lot of unspeakable things, unspeakable acts. All right, and the fury, the rage that we're going to see is going to be the spirit of Yahweh Shema Shai. So 2 Ezra 16 and 68 again. For behold, the burning wrath of a great multitude is kindled over you, and you see, we're seeing that now. All right, that spirit is being kindled over us, man. The Lord is working. He's doing things. Things are happening. But these people, they want to count the Lord for slack. And when I say these people, I'm talking about Jay. Because the hell with these other nations, they're just casualties of war. Extras in the movie. They're irrelevant. The focus is you Jakes. While all this is going on, while all these things are being kindled over us, right? All these things are happening round about us. That's why I read that Ezekiel. Look at what Jake's worried about. Look at what Jake's doing. Look what Jake's partaking in. What's today? Today's Juneteenth, right? Juneteenth. What do you think is Jake? What do you think is Jake focused on right now on Juneteenth? Right? Today's Monday, June 19th. Yesterday you just had a so-called Father's Day, right? What do you think Jake is focused on right now? So while all these things are, taking place, all these distractions, right? It says, and they shall take away certain of you and feed you being idle with things offered unto idols. So like I mentioned, something's going to happen to where, hey, people aren't going to be able to move, because that's one of the definitions of, being idle. Not basically you're stationary, can't do nothing. Like I said, in the case of a major event, Black Swan event, right? If you don't, look that up if you don't know what that is, a Black Swan event. Hey, people aren't going to be able to do anything. They're not going to be able to access the money, can't go to the grocery stores, right? How do you think these people are going to react? Right? But with that being said, because, hey, I even did a touch on this video the other day about how this fake pastor that had a dream of basically this. 2 Ezra 15, 2 Ezra 16. I did a video on it just the other, well, it's on my main channel, but, as of right now, my main channel has a strike, so that's why I'm uploading to, my backup channels, so. But nevertheless, he saw this in his, I believe, to be a vision. All hell breaking loose, right? Something happening that caused everyone to panic. And this video was like 2 to 3 years old. This man had, but he mentioned how he's seen all hell break loose and Russian troops and Chinese troops basically coming in to quail the chaos, to stop the chaos. He saw that in his I believe to be a vision. Because, hey, when you read it again, 2 Ezra 16:68, for behold, the burning wrath of a great multitude is kindled over you, and they shall take away certain of you and feed you being idle with things offered unto idols. Right? And he's seen this in this vision as well. People getting taken to concentration camps by these troops, these foreign troops. Because that's when you're really going to be idle. That's when you're really not going to be able to do anything, go anywhere. Locked up, right? Until you take that C-hip, because that's what it's going to boil down to. Movement is going to be restricted. For those that don't have the MOTB, you won't be able to function in society. You won't be able to buy or sell. You won't be able to do anything. You're going to have to be off grid, and that's why our faith is going to have to be on 144%. Because, hey, What are you going to do? What are we going to do? Well, hey, we don't know. But, hey, we'll see. If the Lord be with us, we're going to be all right. We're going to be more than all right. You know? But I'm going to get this one in Job chapter 18, and I'll probably end it off. As a matter of fact, I got another one, Slakia. Well, let me go ahead and read it now. In Ezekiel, since I'm here, in 25. Because, hey, there's a siege coming. You know? America's under siege. America's being besieged, man. Trenched. Not trenched, Slakia. Well, Esau is building that trench, but, and the words, it just slipped my mind, but Ezekiel 25. Ezekiel chapter 25. Actually, no, this is not it. Slakia. Yep, this is it. Ezekiel 23. I'll start at verse 23. The Babylonians and the Chaldeans, Pekod and Shoah and Koa and all the Syrians with them. You see, because, hey, just like ancient Assyria, well, America is the modern Syria. It says, all of them desirable young men, captains and rulers, great lords, and renown of all of them riding upon horses. And they all shall come against thee with chariots, wagons, and wheels, right? Tanks, heavy military weaponry, artillery, right? Because that's going to be the new norm again, man. Seeing tanks patrolling the streets, right? Gurkha troops patrolling the streets, you know? And people thought just because they got away with it, you know, back in 2020, 2021 with the whole lockdowns, when they had the curfews, and people didn't take that shit serious. Well, try that shit with them. Try that shit with them foreign troops. They're gonna shoot first and ask questions later. Believe that. It says, and with an assembly of people, right? Martial law troops, because again, something is being said. Something's gonna happen to where it's gonna be so bad, so chaotic that a low form of martial law is going to have to be enacted. And eventually it is going to get to a point where it's just going to be all out martial law, all just chaos, you know. But it says, which shall set against thee buckler and shield and helmet round about. All right. Again, martial law troops, the riot gear, or, you know, whatever, the MPs, whatever, you know, shielded up, guarded up, full pedal to the metal, man. Full metal jacket, you know, full gear and all. Right. That's going to be the new normal here in America, man. Seeing that type of, you know, what we thought to be only in the movies, right? Well, no, it's going to be real life real soon. It says, and I will set judgment before them, and they all judge thee according to their judgments. All right, so that's the point, man. All right, martial law, the city shall be cut off. Movement being restricted, right? I'm going to go ahead and get this in Job. And, you know, these Americans, man, they're going to act out because, hey, you can't tell these Americans nothing, right? You know, they're used to just being able to go out, roam freely, and do whatever they want. That's why pursuing the second Ezra 15, because of the pride of their cities. Hey, these people are in trouble. And it's not so coincidentally, again, we're in Pride Month. I like to, as the scriptures say, hey, pride comes before a fall. You know? So that's why I said earlier, hey, it's all just making sense more and more. It's all coming together. It's just everything that's going on. Hey, the Lord is setting this place up for the ultimate Mike Tyson uppercut blow, man. Job chapter 19, verse 12. Matter of fact, I'll start up verse 10. Job 19 and 10. He hath destroyed me on every side, and I am gone, and mine hope hath he removed like a tree. He hath also kindled his wrath against me, and he counteth me unto him as one of his enemies. And amen. And you see, when these devils make their moves, hey, fret not, brothers. Lord won't wear that number, because this is going to be the time when, hey, the Lord's going to turn us up. I know brothers feel it, because I feel it. And I'm not the only one feeling this shit. It's a feeling that I can't explain, but the best way that I could put it is that power is building up. That power is building up, man. And listen, if you're paying attention, hey, and you know the beautiful brother, big bro, Azaria from the camp, man. Ever since he made this statement about how, hey, that's why I did the video on it. You know, tapping into your spiritual bank account, right? Because like I was saying, if you're paying attention, because the Lord is always coming through for us. You know, He's always, you know, coming through. You know, it could be something as little as, you know, you're driving down the road and, you know, you coming up to a red light and you just like, man, you might be in a rush or something. You might have to use the bathroom or something. It's just like, man, Lord, let this light turn green, Baba Gashaw, and boom, it turns green. You don't have to slow down, you know, stuff like that. Like I said, if you're paying attention, you know, stuff like that, man. You know, the Lord has shown us that, hey, He's with us. You know, He's shown us that He's with us, man, because, like I said, I know brothers feel it, man. It's that power is building up, man, and eventually the Lord's going to let us off the leash. Just like He's about to let Esau off the leash, well, hey, He's going to let his men off the leash too. Because when these devils make their moves, that's going to be the last. That's going to be the worst. Hey, that's when once they cross that line, hey, and that's a part of why we, hey, come on with it, man. Do what you got to do, right? But verse 12 it says, "His troops come together and raise up their way against me in the camp round about my tabernacle." So you see, man, the trench is being set about us, man. You know, Esau, he's compassing us with all this military movement. Esau, he's putting things into place. All right, because he knows that something's going to happen. He's going to do something to where, you know, out of the chaos, the order can be established, and he'll be justified in establishing his order. All right, his order. So, hey, be prepared, man. Be ready, because, you know, like I said, as far as the rumors and whatnot, hey, it's soon, eventually, it's going to be real time. We're going to be living it real time, man. It's going to be live action. It's not going to be rumor anymore. But Lord, one of this is edifying. Call Halayim La Yahweh Bashimel Shai. Shalom to you, hopefully let.